It is time to wrap up the regular season here in year 3, and we're doing it in as big of a way as possible as we travel to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles in a big-time must-win situation. We ended the last video with a big win over the Broncos, and it basically knocked the Broncos potentially out of playoff contention, and it kept our hopes of the wild card alive. But it all rests on the final 2 games of this regular season where we take on both the Eagles and the Chargers. We start here in Philadelphia, and if we could just win one of these final 2 games, it'll be us going to the playoffs. Similar situation for the Eagles, who sit in the NFC 7 seed, and a win here could potentially lock them into the playoffs as they try to make their run to the Super Bowl. It's 2 hungry teams trying to win and get into the playoffs. Eagles and Raiders up next. As usual, the Raiders start on the defensive side of the football. Jalen Hurts drops back to throw on the first play of the game, and Jalen Hurts rolls right into a sack, and that is Osa Odigizua, and the Raiders start out hot. As now second down, A.J. Brown with the catch, and he gets just tracked down before he can get that first down line. It's going to be hard to cover after the catch as Hurts on third down, rolling left, and Jalen Hurts is going to run and try to make Tyree Wilson miss. He doesn't, but he gets the first down, and Jalen Hurts is already moving a lot as DeAndre Swift takes the carry and gets brought down by Divine Diablo for a 1-yard gain. Hurts now again rolling out, and he's going to get bumped around on his offensive line, but he breaks free, and then he breaks free from Tyree Wilson, and there goes Jalen Hurts diving ahead to the 37-yard line. And Hurts' legs, we're going to have to contain those as there's DeAndre Swift for a 10-yard carry. It's going to be second and inches. Play action, Hurts, and quick throw, and it's going to be brought in. Devontae Smith. 2 great receivers. Going to be hard to contain for the Raiders, but there's J.C. Horn making a break on the ball, and he's breaking it up. Second down, quick pass again, and it's caught. Devontae Smith with his second on the drive, and it's third down and 4. Hurts dropping back, and there's Swift on the screen. DeAndre Swift tries to get ahead for the first down. He can't do it. 4th and inches, and the Eagles passively kick the field goal, and the Raiders take over. And it's 3-0 as Josh Jacobs takes the carry, and there goes Jacobs, but he bumps into Kalen Shanny, and that's going to be just a 7-yard run, but he had a lot of room for more yardage as Deshaun will throw underneath under pressure. He gets Michael Mayer for the first down at the 30-yard line. Deshaun to throw once more, and Deshaun hit as he's thrown, but he throws a jump ball for Cheru. That ball floated up there to the hip, but Cheru brings it in, first down, and now there goes Jacobs, and he kind of missed the hole there. He had a lane inside, tried to bounce it outside. Doesn't work, as now second down and 10. We got Shanny underneath for a gain of 5, third down. Deshaun to throw, and he's going to hit it quick to Shanny underneath, and Shanny gets free for the first down. And converting on third down is our Raiders as we go play action on first down. Deshaun, a lot of time. He's throwing one deep, and it's going to go out the back of the end zone. Intended for Cheru. Handoff now to Jacobs, and Jacobs gets nowhere as Hassan Reddick brings him down. Third and long as Deshaun. Clean pocket. He's throwing one deep, and he's got to step at Cheru. It's over his head, and the Eagles come up with the stop. We had some missed opportunities on that drive as the Raiders end up with nothing as Hurts will roll left, and he's getting chased by Tyree Wilson. This time Wilson doesn't let him go far, just a 1-yard gain. As second down and 9, handoff, it's going to be a fake. Hurts keeping, and Hurts gets upended, and it's a fumble. Tyree Wilson picks it up, and Tyree Wilson has the touchdown. Jeremy Chin blew it up in the backfield, and Tyree Wilson, who's been all over the ball this game so far, gets rewarded with a scoop and score touchdown, as this time to start the drive they're going to hand to Swift. I don't think Hurts wants to keep it after what happened last play, and first quarter is winding down. Now handoff once again to Swift, and Swift has nowhere to go, and it's going to be second down and 10. Possibly the last play of the quarter as Hurts will throw underneath, and that's going to be Goddard who gets upended by Diablo. Second quarter will get underway with a Hurts throw, and he's got over the middle. Goddard again and past midfield. It's a first down as the new set of downs will start with a Jalen Hurts read option, and it gets blown up again. Tyree Wilson is there, and Tyree Wilson's having a great game so far. As now 3rd and 11 as the run didn't really get him much. Hurts to throw, and he's missing his man. It's going to be a punt situation. They couldn't get close enough for a field goal Would have been a 59-yard try there. They didn't want to take it. And now 2nd down and 8 for our Raiders as DeShong gets absolutely destroyed by Jordan Davis, who mowed over our interior. And now 3rd down and 14. Standing in the pocket, and that's a great throw and catch. Jaden Sherrew. Wow, DeShong stepped up and fired one, and Sherrew lays out for it, and that's about as good of a play as you'll see, as there goes Josh Jacobs to the outside, and some more patience from Jacobs this time gets himself a lane to get a big run, and now play action to DeShong, throwing outside. He's got Shanny, but he missed it out of bounds. Shanny had some room to run if he could get that. And now we're trying to get some room to run to Sherrew, and it's going to get us nothing. 3rd down and 12. And free rusher off the edge, and DeShong goes down, and that's going to be a punting situation. No one picked up the man out there, but it's going to be an A.J. Cole punt, and that one's down at the 2-yard line. And A.J. Cole, Pro Bowl punter for a reason, as Swift gets him out of the danger zone as they have some room to breathe. Hurts now will drop back and throw quickly, and Horn breaks on the ball once again to set up 3rd down and 4. Hurts will throw, incomplete, dropped. It was behind his receiver, but you still got to catch that one, as it's going to be a great field position for the Raiders as Jacobs takes a 1-yard carry. 2nd and 9. DeShong to drop back and throw, and he's got it over the middle. There's Sherrew, and Jaden Sherrew cuts up ahead and gets to the 13-yard line. Raiders knocking on the door to the end zone, as there goes Jacobs inside, stopped at the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be hard to run on this interior Eagles D-line, as this time we throw to Jacobs, and he breaks a tackle, and Josh Jacobs almost got to the end zone. He got to the 2-yard line, and what a play from Jacobs, and it's going to be a flag on the play on the 1st and goal snap, as we get stuffed in the backfield for a loss, and we got a holding. All kinds of bad on that play. They're going to accept the penalty. I made a decline that one, as now DeShong will run up ahead, and Jordan Davis levels him, but he gets to the 3-yard line. DeShong hands it. Jacobs stuffed, lost a yard, and now 3rd down and goal. Free rusher gets in, and the Eagles sent the blitz. It's going to be 4th and goal. We're going for it. Raiders trying to make a statement here, as DeShong nowhere to go with the football. He just gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. That risky call backfired as Hurts and the offense take over once again in very far back territory, but we trust our defense as 2nd and 6. Hurts to throw it, and that's swatted away. Horn's having a great game as 3rd down and 6. Hurts dropping back, and he's going to get sacked at the goal line, and they call him down at the 1, and the Raiders call a timeout. But that was so close to a safety. DeShong throwing, hit as he's thrown. Mayer can't get to that one. The pressure has been all day on DeShong, and there it is again. Jordan Davis gets another sack, and 3rd and 14. DeShong, and he's going to get hit as he's thrown again. The pressure just keeps getting in. It's going to be another A.J. Cole punt, and Cole has another good one, down to the 3 this time, and the Eagles with no other choice but to just take it to halftime, as it's been a really tough game, defensive game, as the only touchdown score between either team was a defensive one. And the Raiders, I mean, as much as the offense has struggled due to all the pressure and drive-killing sacks, I think they've played pretty well on the special teams and defensive side of the football, playing the field position game very well, as we have 2 punts inside the 5, and we have multiple stops from inside the opponent's 10-yard line, and been, you know, good field position. We just can't capitalize on them. I think the Raiders are playing good enough to win this game, but we'll see if we can do it in the second half, as eventually, you know, that Eagles offense is going to break something. It's going to be Eagles and Raiders in the second half. Playoffs on the line for both teams. Let's see who's going to the playoffs. A defensive battle, second half, low-scoring game, and Jacobs takes the carry to start us off, as it's a 3-yard gain and a 2 backfield look, as Venable gets the carry, and a rare Alex Venable carry, and that might be rare for a reason, as he fumbles, and it's going to be a recovery. But 3rd down and 9, you cannot have turnovers in a game like this, as DeShong will throw one out of bounds as the pressure got in once again, and it's going to be a quick 3 and out for the Raiders, as quick throw, and there's breaking on the ball as J.C. Horn once more, and this time it's going to be caught for a 5-yard gain, and There goes Hurts as he's got Dallas Goedert. And it was pretty good coverage, but Goddard shields off Jeremy Chin and makes the catch. And there goes Swift for a gain of 2 as Hurts now under center as he will hand it to Swift. And DeAndre Swift got a bit of a lane and he cuts it upfield for a 6-yard gain. 3rd down and 2. Hurts quick outside, and that's going to be caught by A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown's been pretty held in check for the most part as there goes Swift on the outside, and DeAndre Swift. Finally, the Eagles are moving the football a bit as it's going to be down to the 21-yard line. Read option, Jalen Hurts. No one is accounting for Jalen Hurts, who's running untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles. And the Raiders now find themselves down, and we really got to do something on offense now as there goes Josh Jacobs, who gets a block from Moss, and Jacobs down the sideline, stiff arm. And Jacobs has a gain of 30 yards on the play, and that's just what we needed to start the drive. As now Deshaun play action. He's going to roll to the right, dump it off to Jacobs. We need to get this football out a little bit quicker as Deshaun trying to be a bit more decisive as he holds the ball a little long, as we know from his 2 seasons, as he quick throw to Shanny to the 27-yard line. And now Jacobs will take the carry, and he has a lane left side. Gets brought down, but will take the 6-yard gain. Deshaun, quick throw. That's caught by Sharu, who is wide open. And Sharu down to the 2-yard line. And this is exactly what we needed. A great drive. And now at the 2-yard line, we got to punch it in. Deshaun hands it to Jacobs, who bites ahead. Just barely got to the 1-yard line. And now Jacobs blown up Jordan Davis. And now we're going to need to turn to the passing game. Deshaun rolling, rolls out right, and Thomas Deshaun wide open field ahead of him. And both quarterbacks run it in for a touchdown. Deshaun and the Raiders on top 14-10. And now we're getting some offense here as Deshaun will go to the sidelines and watch his defense take the field. 2nd down and 11 after a nice run stop. Hurts going to throw it, and he's going to roll, throw underneath Dallas Goedert, and Goedert breaking a tackle, and Goedert got out of bounds, and now Hurts will hand it left side. There goes Swift, and the defense, I feel, has been pretty nice in the run game, aside from that last drive, but Hurts will throw, and that's going to be a great catch. That's Don Shelton, the former 1st-round receiver at a USC, as he's going to throw it outside, and it's going to be broken up. Went for Shelton 2 times in a row, and the 2nd time around, Horn was there to make a play as Hurts clean pocket has Swift underneath. 3rd down and 2 as the 4th quarter underway. A lot of running. Got that quarter moving quick and more running, and Jalen Hurts breaking a tackle. Jalen Hurts down to the 10-yard line. It's goal to go. And the Hurts-led Eagles are threatening to take the lead as DeAndre Swift runs through a man down to the 1-yard line. And Hurts will hand it. No, he'll keep it. And he's going to get brought down. Good stop by the Raiders. Now 3rd and goal. They're going to have to rely on the arm of Hurts. He's going to throw it underneath. That's going to be caught in traffic. Touchdown, Eagles. And that is A.J. Brown in the tough situation on Hobbs. He brings it in. And the Eagles, 2 second-half drives, 2 touchdowns. And the Raiders now find themselves down once again. Sharu on the pop pass. And Sharu gets a block from Jacobs, turns it upfield. He has 12. As we are under 10 to go in this game, it's been a fast-moving second half as Deshaun will throw it underneath and just out of the reach for Mayer. That's some bad ball tracking from Mayer as it's going to be a handoff to Jacobs, who cuts it inside. And Josh Jacobs gets the 1st down. And that's a really big run to avoid 3rd down. And Deshaun now will roll. Throwing for Jacobs, and he's got it just out in front of him. And Jacobs with the catch. Now Deshaun to throw as the stadium lights come on as darkness has stumbled upon Lincoln Financial Field. This, in that December weather, it comes to be, 4 o'clock and the sun's already going down. It's been cold, it's been tough, it's been physical, but we're trying to take the lead here as a throw up top to Sharu, and he got by Slay, but the safety came over top to help. 2nd down as throwing outside the Sharu, it's incomplete. Now 3rd down and 10. We got a big play in us to try to take the lead as Deshaun will run and throw, and he's got it for Sharu, and that's a great play. Everyone thought he was going to run. He comes back with the throw, and now the RPO touchdown. That's Kalen Shanny, and everyone on that 3rd down thought it was a run. but Deshaun surprised everyone, and then he pulled that ball on first down and got the touchdown to Kalen Shanny. The Raiders are now on top as what has become a back and forth battle in this second half. 6 minutes to play, and the Raiders defense needs to come up with something big here as Hurts will throw over the middle, and there's Devontae Smith in a lot of room to run for him as he gets down to the 41-yard line. The Eagles need a touchdown to take the lead as Swift has nowhere to go with the football, and he gets brought down by Devin Bush, and now handoff to him again. This time he breaks free from Diablo. He gets 5 yards, a more manageable third down as the Eagles will throw it. Screen set up, and he gets hit as he's throwing. It's fourth down. Hurts the throw. Does he have a conversion in him? Hurts is going to roll. He's going to run. He's got a lot of room, and Jalen Hurts, someone bring him down. Jalen Hurts to the 6-yard line. Great play does not come without a risk as the Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts is down, and into the game is Abilene Christian rookie Chandler Williams. And Williams now, he's got to try to score a touchdown in this goal line situation. It's incomplete. Third down, Williams. He's going to come in this situation and roll right. Chandler Williams throwing across the field, and it's caught for the touchdown. There's a flag on the field, though. Don Shelton has it, but the flag, what's it gonna be? And it's gonna be illegal touching. And Don Shelton stepped out of bounds. Fourth and goal. Williams to throw it. It's incomplete, and the Raiders take over. And Jalen Hurts coming up the field is gonna cost the Eagles big time. But more importantly, Don Shelton stepping out of bounds on the in route. It's going to cost them even more. Now they have to make a stop. And the Raiders, can we run the clock out as Jacobs, leading the #1 rushing offense in the league, trying to salt away this clock. 2 minutes approaching. We go to pop pass to Cheru. Basically a run play. As second down and 9, now 2-minute warning approaches. Deshaun to throw it, and Deshaun clean pocket. He got some protection, and he's got the first down to DeAndre Hopkins, who breaks a tackle. He made sure to get it, as it's going to be the 2-minute warning, and with Deshaun got some time to throw, he was able to get it in there. Now quick pass outside, Cheru, and Jaden Cheru has a 2nd and 2-yard situation. One more first down potentially. Jacobs, he's got it, and we're so close. Raiders hand it. Jacobs cuts it to the outside. Josh Jacobs, first down, and the Raiders are going to the playoffs for the first time under this new regime. The first time since Rich Bisaccia led that interim coach disastrous Raiders team to the playoffs to get knocked out by the Bengals. It's going to be the first time in years since we have made the playoffs, and the Raiders get it done in the clutch situation. We were able to run out that clock so effectively, and we knocked out Jalen Hurts unintentionally, but we knocked out Jalen Hurts in that last situation, and we are headed to the playoffs. Deshaun played a very solid game despite all of the pressure in his face, and Hurts played a nice game as well at times, and he ran the ball wild on us. Cheru had 147 yards, and it was a crazy game as the first half was super defensive. Second half turned a lot more offensive, but the Raiders, the story here, we're going to the playoffs. Now let's wrap up bowl season in college football, and then we'll get to some of the stuff afterwards, including who are playing in the playoffs. This is your college football update and the final one for year 3 of our Raiders franchise. And this one's just going to be a nice quick little update as we have bowl season. You see the Heisman there. You knew Resna Oderna won that in a pretty comfortable fashion. The Final Four, Florida State surprisingly jumped in. But let's get into these bowl results as we start off with the Peach Bowl. Stanford and TCU matched up, and Stanford, who's come out of nowhere this season, has picked up a bowl victory, a big time New Year's Bowl victory, as they take it home 38-13 convincingly, and Stanford might be a team to watch out for next season. In the Orange Bowl, for back-to-back years, Clemson has found their way into the Orange Bowl, but last year they did take a loss to Michigan. This year against Oregon, they were able to pick up a victory. And if you remember from a long time ago in year 1, where Thomas DeShong matched up against Clement Trombetta in the national championship, it was Oregon and Clemson. Clemson got the best of them then, they got the best of them now. The Sugar Bowl down in New Orleans, seeing the runner-up of the Pac-12 take on the runner-up of the SEC. It was LSU versus UCLA, and in that game, we seen a big win from LSU, a bit of an upset, as despite, them having the same record, LSU was thought to really not have much of a chance, as the spread was about a 10-point spread, but LSU overcame the odds, picked up a big bowl victory, and LSU now takes the momentum into their offseason. And then we move on to the Fiesta Bowl, as an unlikely matchup a few years ago as Northern Illinois, who has really stormed onto the national scene, went down to Arizona to take on Ramsey White. And in what was a shootout, the Oklahoma State Cowboys took down Northern Illinois in a 35-31 victory, as Ramsey White accounted for every touchdown, all 5 of them, as he had 4 through the air, 1 on the ground, and he ends his season strong, as he is definitely going to be QB1 in this upcoming year's draft. And headlining the New Year's Bowl games was a big-time matchup between 2 historical programs. It was USC and Michigan, stacked with NFL talent, and in a low-scoring defensive battle, 19-16, USC picks up the victory. And they might not have been able to repeat as national champions, but I think they'll be pretty happy with a Rose Bowl victory in a 12-2 season. Let's get to the playoffs, and we start off with Ohio State versus Florida State, number 1 versus number 4, and this is one of the closest playoff races we have seen, and 4 teams that are 12-1, no team heavily favorited over the other, and it was Florida State coming up with a victory as their higher-end, top-end draft talent, Dwayne Wooten and Rashad Bookout, led the offense to put up 27 points, and the defense did just enough, holding Ohio State to 22 points. And waiting for them in the national championship will be the game of the year results, as Texas and Georgia, Trenton Power versus Renza Odernaut, the top 2 in the Heisman candidacy, went to war, and it was a ground game to remember for both teams, not just throughout the season, but in this game, where Odernaut ran for over 200 yards, Power ran for over 200 yards, both of them combined for 5 touchdowns, and it went to double overtime. But getting the job done was Texas, as they head to the national championship. And in that national championship, Renza Odernaut was not stopped there either. 28-20. Texas behind Odernaut's 184 yards and 2 more touchdowns. Texas is your national champion, and we'll see where guys like Odernaut, Joakim Bradley, more of their great offensive linemen, and some of their defenders, we'll see where they go in the draft. They're probably going to have the most populated, group of guys in the NFL draft. So that's a wrap for the college football season. And now let's get into some more very important stuff as we wrap up the NFL regular season. We go ahead and see the results of that Chargers game. We did end up winning it, as the Raiders finish at 11-6 on the year, and Josh Jacobs puts up a crazy game to end the season, and Thomas DeShong was able to run it very well too. But the story here is, not only do we make the playoffs, but we will not be the 7th seed. We will not be the 6th seed. The Raiders will be the number 5 seed as they close the season with 3 straight victories, and our playoff opponent is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are back on the road to Jacksonville. We know the history here, as we started the season this year against Jacksonville. Last year we were embarrassed by them. Trevor Lawrence put up 500 yards on this defense and really sparked what was a much needed change in the way we did things on defense. We let Evan Ingram have a near record-breaking day. And then to start this season, we really thought we could just switch things up, and we started a little rough and we played better, but Trevor Lawrence still did his thing. We are 0-2 in Jacksonville, and we will be back on the road in Jacksonville, where our season started, is where our season could potentially end, and we will have redemption, potentially. we'll have it on our minds for sure, but not an easy draw for our Raiders, but we're happy with the 5 seed as we take a look at our final season stats. Deschamps really think took a step forward. The interceptions, that number going down was absolutely massive. And as you can see in the receiving game, it's really fun to see there as 2 1,000-yard receivers, Kalen Shanny and Jaden Sharu. Sharu among the league leaders in catches, and Shanny among the league leaders in yards per catch. And on defense, Jeremy Chin and Gabe Marietta, 100-plus tackles, and Tyree Wilson had an insane season. 20-plus tackles for loss, 10-plus sacks. Stanley Camper, what a surprise he was, as Camper, who was brought in to just be a pass coverage guy, ends up getting a bunch of tackles for losses and, a couple sacks, 2 forced fumbles, fumble recovery. He did it all for us, really. And, as we look at what he was as a second-round pick, we are so happy with what he ended up turning into. And Tyree Wilson, you see that defensive touchdown there. Daniel Carlson, once again, really solid in the kicking game. And, to our surprise, actually, no Kalen Shanny return touchdowns. He had 4 as a rookie, none this year. Not to say he was bad in the return game, but nothing this year. And we'll see if he can do anything big in the playoffs in the return game. So we take a look at the NFL leaders, though. Brock Purdy had 37 touchdowns and a lot of guys up there. If you want to know who the leaders were in all-purpose touchdowns, though, Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, and Thomas Deschamps, his rushing touchdowns, helped put him in that top 3. So Deschamps, who was very much in the MVP running, I'll spoil it now, he didn't win the MVP, but it's not because he was not, prolific enough. He had the touchdowns, he had the yards, he had the wins. Just think that, the perception around Deschamps right now is he's a nice quarterback, obviously, and he's emerging, he's ascending, but he needs to put it all together in passing game because, 60% is still among the bottom, in the league. I think that's where he needs to improve. We, going from year 1 to year 2, really wanted to see him get better in protecting the football and not putting it in harm's way. He did that. He passed it incredibly, chopping his interception numbers way down. I think from year 2 to year 3, we really want to see that accuracy and get more consistent, get up there, and, see that percentage go up because, there's some throws he misses and, he holds the ball a little long. A lot of his incompletions do end up coming. He's hit as he's thrown because he's holding on to the ball a little too long, and I think there's some improvements to still be had. And you see Charvarius Ward, properly replaced J.C. Horn, getting a league-leading amount of interceptions. But I can't express how happy I am with this team and what they did this year. I'm more than happy with everything that went down. 11 wins. This defense did play much better. We still had some tight end issues, but we did not allow ourselves to get absolutely torched that much. And we made big plays when we needed to. Tyree Wilson had a breakout season. Kalen Shanny really stepped up when DeAndre Hopkins went down and had a breakout season. And as we move ahead to our first playoff game of the series, we will be taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Round 3 against Trevor Lawrence. We are 0-2 on the road in Jacksonville. Can we finally slay our Jacksonville Demons and get our first playoff win in a very, very long time? I will see you all in the next one when we have playoff football.